another episode of the Kreative Cast with me, the epic and mighty Kevin Kreative. We're here, we're queer, and we're doing it from the rear, baby. That's freaking right. Strap yourselves in, put on your helmet, change your goddamn diaper. This is another episode of Kevin Kreative. Ooh yeah! I'm finally in the mood to make this video. I have been just struggling to make this podcast. It has just not been working out. I don't know, they've just been feeling very forced. I think what it was is like, it's type of one of those therapeutic things where you just say things out loud and just get it out there. You just gotta get it out and just say it just to get it out there and all that. And I feel like I keep having to redo this video because I've just been getting a bunch of just bleh all over the microphone and just getting it all out there. I think I finally got it all out of my system and now we can just have a good one. Not that the other ones were like bad, but I just, a little bit just low energy, a little bit more forced, a little bit more just like, just saying things just to say it and get off my chest. So now we can just enjoy the usual stuff, which is toys, video games, comics, anime, manga, and me! Most importantly, me! It's all about me. What do we have on the agenda today? Well, we have been playing Digimon Story Time Stranger. I'm like freaking 60 episodes deep into that series in terms of recording. So it's going to be a while before the whole thing gets out there because I still got to edit every single thing and put it out there. So it's going to be, a very long time before that's done. So I don't know when that's going to happen. Still going to make all the thumbnails and all that. So going to be a process. Right now, I am at the Junimon fight. And good lord, the boss's fights are in this game are all extremely difficult. I'm going to be honest. I feel like the boss fights in this Digimon game are like Dark Souls level difficult. Maybe not Dark Souls quite that hard, at least in the hard mode. Maybe when we get to the like mega hard mode, it'll be like Dark Souls level, but like these are pretty tough bosses. They all have crazy stat boost and debuffs, and like for example, Junimon especially, like just from being in her domain, all of our guys are inherently weakened and she's inherently stronger, so she's like, oh my goodness. And then like partially through the battle she did something, I don't know what happened, but like we couldn't use items anymore for the rest of the battle. I thought it was gonna be for like a couple turns, but no, it was like the entire battle we couldn't use items. And boy oh boy, did that really throw a wrench in my plans, because throughout my playthrough, I think I even mentioned, like, you need items to, like, win the fights. Like, there's no getting around it. This game requires you to use items just because the fights are that challenging. And then, yeah, she sure did away with that, and then that totally just ruined everything. Like, I had her health down to, like, I don't know, 20%, I would say. Maybe even, like, a little bit more, a little bit less, just around 20% left of her health. And she won. Yeah. So I had to redo my entire strategy. I went through all my skills and all that. So we're going to try it again. Round 2, baby. And this time I think should be all right. I think I've got everything set up the way I like it. So when we get there, we get there. It's going to be, I don't know when you're actually going to see that video from this video. This video is coming out like, I think in a couple days, like the day before Thanksgiving. That video where I actually do this fight, a year, 2 years from now, I honestly don't know. We're just going to have to see how the stars align on that one, because, yeah, it's going to be a while. And if anybody remembers this episode from that one, say it in that episode. Like, if you remember, if that episode comes along, you're like, this is the epic battle that he described. Comment on it. Let me know, because that would be very, very interesting. It's a very frustrating game, I will say, but it is fun. It's a combination of fun and frustrating. The boss fights are just really challenging, which is good. I mean, I'd rather have them be challenging than like super easy, but I just feel very unprepared for the most. I think that's what it is. I think the second time I play this game, because I'm definitely going to play it again and again, just because it's that type of game where you just replay it over and, see how you do in the next round, try out different styles and all that. So I think this is a game where the first time going in, it's just a struggle all the way through. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what to expect. You don't know the moves and the stats and everything. So you're kind of just figuring out as you do it. And then once you go round 2 and you know what you're doing, then it's like, okay, this is way more manageable. For example, there's like been a couple of the boss fights where I've done a little bit of research before jumping in just to make sure I was prepared. That made a huge difference. Just from knowing who you're fighting and like what their type is, that it alone made a huge difference. Now that it's like, okay, I know their movesets and stuff like that. For example, I did the fight with the Junimon, lost, and then checked up on her moves, and I was like, okay, now I see how the moves work and everything, because like I had already unlocked her, so I had access to that. Strategy, studying, research, strategy, it's all crucial to winning the fight. It's fun. I'm glad that the game works that way. I'm glad that, like, you're not just going to get away with just using a big stick, because that's typically my strategy. I think that's a lot of people's strategies, is just going at things with a big stick. And I'm glad that, like, they kind of force you to, like, think outside the box, I don't always want to. Sometimes I want to just, like, get through it. But I will say, for example, in this fight, we're going to have to really do some critical thinking on, like, when to use what, because I've got a whole new strategy involved. I've got all kinds of different healing stuff and spells and reversals and counters and stuff, so we're just going to have to pray that everything lines up and I time things out right. So that's the fun of like turn-based RPGs, is like you really gotta think things through and prepare your turns in advance. I really like turn-based games in general, whether it's like card games or video games or anything like that. Board games, a little less so, I will admit. Board games just feel a little bit more random, like it's like Mario Party. I love Mario Party, it's fun to play, but like in terms of like actually winning, it's up in the air. Like anybody can win. You know, like I said, these turn-based tactical games and like card games, I really do enjoy. It's fun to like plan things out in advance and see how things unfold and all that. So it's good. It's good for your brain too, I think. I don't know. What I like about that, I feel like part of like who I am in terms of how my brain works is because I just grew up playing a lot of like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I feel like just a lot of like turn-based strategy games just kind of made my brain function that way, where it's like thinking ahead. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I kind of feel, you know what am I saying? I definitely know that has something to do with it. Let's just be honest. A lot of cartoons and anime, I'm sure that had a lot of influence in who I am today. I don't think there's any getting around that, unfortunately. I'm not really a Sonic guy, thankfully. Sonic didn't grab hold of me. I've seen Sonic fans, and I'm happy to say I'm not one of them, but yeah, I got some other, let's say, personality quirks that may have derived from some cringy upbringings. We'll just say that. I'm in a much better mood. Like, it's not like I was in a bad mood. I'm in a bit of a slump. We'll just say I've been in a bit of a slump, just trying to figure out what is my next move, you know? Like, we've been in standby mode for a bit, just trying to plan things out and figure things out. And we're just kind of letting things happen as they happen. Like I said, I'm typically a big planner, and I'd like to have things ready to go in advance. But lately, I'm trying to be a bit more relaxed and just kind of let things happen as they happen and not force things so much, because I'm tired. That's really what it is. I'm tired. I'm stressing a little bit. It's all self-imposed, really. I don't think there's nothing that says I have to do anything. I mean, certain areas, yes, but like for the most part, like all of my struggles are self-imposed, just because like I want to live life a certain way. I want to have certain goals accomplished, and I want to be able to do certain things, outside of my life. They're not just going to happen. You got to put the work in. So in that regard, you have to do stuff. But at the same time, like, nobody's making me. I don't have to. So I'm trying to keep that in mind and remind myself that, like, okay, it's okay if this doesn't get done this second. There's no timeline. There's no deadline. It's more like I'm in my 30s, and I kind of want to be at a certain place by now, and I'm not. So I'm just trying to like catch up, and that's where that is. So, but at the same time, when I look around and I think about it, it's like, you know what? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not necessarily in a bad place either. I've got my own apartment. I live by myself, which is pretty nice. Not a lot of people, well, I don't want to say not a lot of people, but not everybody can say that they can afford to live alone. So it's nice that I can. I remember my old boss once, years ago, when I first moved out on my own, he asked me, he's like, what's it like living by yourself? And I straight up, the first thing I thought of, I just said, it's addicting. That's what it is. It's just being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, eat whatever you want, go wherever you want. If you don't want to go somewhere, you don't have to go there. You can just stay home. Nobody's making you get up. No one's making you go out. If you do want to go somewhere, same thing. Nobody says you can't go out. And it's like, nope. If I feel like leaving, I do. Like, I remember the first time I went to a party when I lived on my own, and I just like went to the party, came home in like the middle of the night, and then just packed a bowl of weed, sat out on my porch. It's probably like midnight, 1 a.m, and then just enjoyed the evening. And it felt great. My goodness, probably one of the best nights ever. Just like coming home, like to a dark apartment, turning on the lights, not having to worry about disturbing anyone or anyone getting out of bed or just anything. Just not having to worry at all, going to bed, getting up, none of it. Didn't have to worry. Like I said, I packed myself a bowl and just sat out on the porch, just continued to relax for the rest of the night. Like, that was a wonderful feeling. So it's nice that I can do that. I've got all my model kits that I'm working on. I have the free time to do so. Well, I have limited free time, but I have some time to work on it. Like, I took a break from working on the current one just because I kind of needed a break from model kits. And then also, like, I wanted to focus on Digimon. I was playing that nonstop, and now I'm finally getting back into the groove of doing my model kit. I really want to finish it. It's looking really good, and when it's done, it's going to look amazing. So I want to kind of just get back up on that horse. So I just need to do the masking that I'm working on. I'm basically on the last couple steps. I just need to mask off these last few parts, paint them, panel line, clean it all up, put it together, we're done. So we got Thanksgiving break coming up this week. I'm going to be busy with like family stuff because it's also my dad's birthday. One right after the other. The Thanksgiving's like, I think, the 28th, and then my dad's birthday is the 30th. So going to have to take care of that stuff. But we're still going to hopefully finish off the masking by then. So that way the weekend I can just paint it, And like I said, I just have to clean up whatever, do the panel lining, like panel lining and then cleaning up. That's not going to take that long at all. So if I can just knock that out, it's the masking. So if we get the masking done, the painting is not going to take long at all. It's just a tiny microscopic spots on a few parts. That'll be easy to knock out. Cleaning it up, panel line's going to take no time at all. And then cleaning it up is going to take no time at all. So if we can just get it all done, that would be wonderful. And then we'll have a really nice HD bar exam. And then I think I have finally decided I'm going to work on my Command Wolf that I have ready to go for years. God damn it. I think it's been 3 years I've had this thing just separated, snipped up, sanded, and just ready to go. I think what I'm going to do, though, is prep the next kit first, so that way it's just ready, and then paint the Command Wolf, and then when I'm done with that, go back and do the next kit. What is the next kit? Sort of up in the air, but at the same time, I'm kind of thinking it'll be the HG, the O. The Master Grade, the O, should be getting into my hands. I'm hoping by January. I already have it pre-ordered and paid off. It's just a matter of getting everything stocked, because I got it from USA Gundam, so we have to wait for everything to come in stock before they'll ship it out. So I'm pretty sure the only thing I'm waiting for is the reissue of Shining Greymon. I kind of regret just not getting it from Gundam Planet because it's just in stock there. I'll see reissues go up for pre-order, but I'll never see them come in stock or be released or anything. I just see them sit on pre-order on like different websites forever. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's the timing. Maybe like I just see that it's up for pre-order and maybe it's sold out, and then by the time I checked again, it just went up for pre-order again. I don't know. That could be the case, but there was a couple that I feel like I've seen through the years where it's like, I don't think I ever saw that coming in stock. I think I saw it up for pre-order and I was waiting, but nothing ever came about it. So hard to say, but we'll probably be all right. I'm probably being a worried Warren for nothing. So I'm sure, like I said, probably by January, February, it should be in stock. The whole shipment will ship, and then there you go. I'll have the Master Grade Theo in my backlog. And I mean, if I do the HD Theo now-ish, not anytime soon, but like next year-ish, we're probably going to hold off on doing the Master Grade for a bit. I don't feel the need to do the same exact mobile suit twice in a row, regardless if it's a different version. So that's kind of how I like to space things. Like, for example, the Core Gundam. So that one has like multiple versions of it, and I have every version of it. So I did the Earth 3 a while back, and then more recently I finally did the Mars 4. Just probably the next year or two we'll work on the V2, and then we'll just keep going from there. So I figure like with that one, it's like once, maybe every other year, once a year, we do a Core Gundam just to start knocking those out. Because that's another factor, is like there's certain kits where I'll have multiples of for various reasons, and sometimes I want to just do one of them just so I can knock out that multiple. Like, for example, I have like 2 Dragon Gundams. That one just has so many different options for display and all that. I just wanted 2 of them. And then also, like, I kind of want to mess with the paint job just a very slightly. Like, it's not like I'm changing the paint job. I'm just like adjusting certain accents, and that's basically it. So I wanted to mess with that, so that's why I got 2 of them. One of them just to be kind of more strict on like the original design and all that, and then another one where it's like, okay, well, I think if we added a little bit of that dark green that they have everywhere, what if we added it here? I think that would look good, or something like that. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And then also, like I said, display options. He just has all these cool different weapons and attacks and effect parts and stuff like that. So I figured let's try to put that to use. Same thing with the Mandala. Was that the Mandor Gundam? The Mandor. That's another one where I bought 2 of. I'm sure there's a lot of people going, this guy is crazy. He bought 2 of that guy? Of all of them? Of all the designs? He gets 2 of that one? Huh? I like it. What can I say? It's a good design. When I think of models and toys and collectibles, just stuff. When I think of stuff that I like, it doesn't always have to be uniformity. Sometimes I like something because it's not. Sometimes I like the Mandor Gundam. It's so just out there as a design. That's why I like it. What other anything at all, not even Gundam, just anything at all is like a cool robot. What is it? Is it Neapolitan? Not Neapolitan. What am I thinking of? Nepal. Neapolitan. Is it from Nepal? It's from Nepal, right? Whatever he's from, like, religious Buddhist with a staff, laser staff, cool thing, bell, thruster, and then, it's just it's a weird thing that, like, you're just not gonna see anywhere in any capacity. And I think that's cool. I want to mess with a cool thing for that reason. And then again, this is another one that has lots of cool parts and displays and all this stuff going on, so I wanted multiple to display it in different ways. And then also, I wanted to mess with the paint job again. Like, I had an idea for the paint job. One of them I want to be, strictly from the show, and then the other one I'm going to play with, and then we're going to have a pretty cool, I think, little model kit, little custom. So that's why I did that. And there you go. That's kind of my thought process when I do
really anything with my collection. It's just like, how is this going to fit in? Do I have anything already like it? If it's nothing like anything, that's probably going to add to it. So that is something I consider. That's why I like also buying from different companies, different IPs, just different everything. So that way it's like we have diversity. I don't like having the same thing over and over for the most part. I like breaking things up. Like sometimes I get bored of doing Gundams. Sometimes I need a break from Gunpla. And it's like, all right, I have Dragon Ball Z model kits. I've got Digimon model kits. I've got Zoids. I've got a couple of randos here and there. Zabungle. There's a really cool like Zabungle Hasagawa model kit that I have. It's the big blue robot that turns into like a trailer or whatever. That thing is super detailed and awesome looking. I could not resist. It's going to look super great and amazing when I do it. So I put that in the backlog. Same thing with like, I think it's Macross. I want to say Robotech Macross. I think I have like a Valkyrie from that. Like not the regular Valkyrie, but like the big buff armored one. That one looked pretty sick. I think that's Hasagawa. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I got that one. I think it's called the Armored Valkyrie. Big, buff looking, tons of missiles and rockets. So I love my big chunky robots. So I got that one put aside. I don't know when we'll get to it. There's another one. I think it's called the Iron Foot or the Iron Ogre, something like that. Some sort of other mech thing that just looks cool. And I just threw it in the backlog. So there you go with that. And then also one thing I consider is like, for example, I have a real grade Epion that I think is really awesome. And then I have a master grade Epion that I think is also really awesome, but it's a little outdated compared to the real grade. The real grade came out more recently. So I think that's probably going to be the more fun and cool one. So what I'm thinking is I'll do the master grade Epion as like a more of a practice one, and then we'll dive into the real grade eventually. So that's another kind of thought process when I make my decisions. Oh my goodness, I had to go drop the kids over at the pool real quick and I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know where I am now. Where are we? We're talking about model kits. Oh yes, I was talking about, kill me. I was talking about working on certain kits to improve other ones. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with the model kit biz. I just like to feel things out, and then when I'm ready to do something, then I do it. And then there you go. I try to take what I learned from the previous kit and apply that to a new kit. So I don't know. I really don't know how it all works exactly. It's just I kind of just think things out in my head, and then eventually it just kind of lands on the next choice. So I'm thinking HG-The-O. I don't know. I just kind of feel like that'll probably be the next one, and then we'll just go from there. What else we got to go on? So, like, I'm working on a few different projects at the moment. For example, a friend of mine asked me to do a little picture for her, just for her own little personal self-use for her and her friends. She just wanted to use it for her little friend group. I think it came out really good. I actually had an exceptionally good time working on it. More fun than I was really expecting. It kind of made me realize what I like about drawing and, like, what I like to draw and all that. I think I'm going to frame it and give it to her for her birthday that's coming up. I figure why not? I did that, and then later that week, I bumped into my neighbors. They were using the barbecue. And we were just hanging out, chatting, and then I just showed them, like, my work. Because they know I do, like, artistic stuff. They just don't know exactly what it is. Like, I'll be outside working on my model kits, and it's like, if you don't know anything about model kits, you have no idea what I'm doing. I've got all this stuff out. I'm painting. They see me doing that. I think that, like, they know I work on my computer. I tell them, like, yeah, I'm always, like, drawing and editing stuff on my computer. So, like, I'm sure they know that type of stuff. They just don't know to what extent and all that. So I showed them the picture. They ended up really liking it, and then they asked me if I could do one of them because they're actually dancers. They do, I guess, professional dancing. I know they do like music videos and stuff. They get hired to do like, I think background dancers and stuff for music videos. I think they also do like choreography. They help plan out like the moves and all that. And then I think they get hired to do performances. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that they dance. They're big into dancing and they dance. And we dance. So yeah. So they said, hey, you can do something of us like dancing together. And I said, sure, why not? Let's make that happen. So currently working on that. I'm just praying that it comes out good. Faces are, they're always tricky. But when you're doing a face of an actual person that exists and you can look at them and see if you did a good job, it's kind of scary because it's like, if I do anything wrong, you're going to notice. It's going to look very obvious. You look at them, you look at the picture, and if you don't see it, then it's pretty obvious. So you got to be careful on how you do everything. I want to make sure they look good. I want to make sure they look like them. I want it to be one of those things where it's like, as soon as you look at it, it's like, oh, there it is. It's them. Yeah, oh, look at that. They're cartoons, something like that. That's just my style. I just have a very cartoony style. If I could draw a perfect person as they are, like a photo, I would. I just don't have that type of skill or knowledge. My sister can. She is an exceptional artist. She can literally take a photograph and then just paint like that photograph as a picture, and you would never ever tell the difference. She's got some pictures she's painted up in her apartment. When you look at them, they look like photographs. That's how good they are. I definitely don't have that type of skill or knowledge or talent, so we just stick to the cartoon stuff. Speaking of cartoons, I actually did my first little comic. Nothing crazy, just a nice little 4-panel comic just for fun. I want to make a series of little horror comics that eventually I can expand on and animate. I want to get into animation eventually at some point once I can figure that all out. I think it would just be a good skill. I think in today's market, being able to animate just like as an artist is just very helpful. So I've always wanted to animate. It just seems like such a complicated task. It seems like something that is difficult to do on your own. Like, I feel like if there's like 2 to 3 people working on something, it's like, okay, you can kind of lean on each other where it's like, okay, well, I'm not as good at this type of stuff, so they're better at that, so they can do that while I focus on this and that, all those different aspects. But since it's just me on my own, it's feeling a little bit more challenging because it's like, okay, well, I know how to draw a picture, but how do I draw a series of pictures that work together? It sounds easy, but trust me, it is not quite. Because one thing you have to keep in mind is, like, if you're doing an animation, everything has to be the same. If you do one character in one frame and then in the next frame his face looks slightly off, it's going to be super noticeable. So you got to make sure that everything is the same always and all that. So part of it is like me figuring out how to set everything up where I don't have to redo everything. So for example, the little comic I did, the first 2 panels were more or less exactly the same. So that way when you go from one panel to the next, there's no break in anything. You just look at it, feels natural. There's a natural flow. So for example, the background is exactly the same. I just made one background and then I use that for both images, and then there you go. I don't have to worry about now redoing the entire background exactly the same. Saving time in that way is also a big part of it. Time management of what shortcuts can you take, for example. So like I said, the background, we can just leave the background the same. Just when we're making the new image, pull up the old image, get rid of the other parts, keep the background. There you go. Don't have to worry about it. So like we got to think of those types of ideas when it comes to really anything, but for animation in this case. When it comes to the channel, it's kind of a similar situation where it's like, okay, what can we do to like cut corners and save time so we can keep producing new stuff? That's where the thumbnails come in. Instead of making a brand new thumbnail for every single video, for example, Digimon is, like I said, it's going to be, I think, at least 70 episodes. I think I'm near the end. I'm in the 60 episode range. I'm about to hit to the 60 episodes, and I think we're going to get to probably like 70. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Probably more than less. So imagine making 70 plus different custom thumbnails for one series. Like, that is, I don't want to say it's a huge waste of time, but like, I mean, it's definitely a good idea if you're a big enough channel where you can afford to hire someone to do that. Like I said, for myself, it's just not productive. It's better to use my time for other things. So I just make one thumbnail and then just change the number each time. And then there you go. It's not as exciting, but at least we have a custom thumbnail. The number's different. I change up the colors and all that. I'm making a different Digimon, trying to figure out a way to make it interesting, but still be able to reuse assets. And there you go. So you just have to do what you got to do. I do take little shortcuts with model kits just to help out. So for example, let's say there's a part that I want to paint black. Rather than paint it primer gray and then paint over it with black, that's just a huge waste of time. Just paint it with primer black to begin with. There you go. The part is now black. Why are we going to do all these different layers when we don't need to? The black primer, it's primer. It's going to adhere. It's black. That's the color I wanted. And since it's primer, it's already going to be pretty much flat, so we're good to go. Same thing with white. Whenever I do like white parts, there's a lot of white stuff on Gundam. I'll use gray primer for the base, and then I'll use a white primer to highlight the gray primer, and then there you go, we're done. Everything's already flat, don't even have to flat coat it. That's it. We didn't even really, we painted, obviously. I mean, the primer is paint, but like we didn't have to use any other paints. We just used primer. We used white primer and gray primer. We just shaded things a certain way, and it's done. You don't have to do anything else. So that's kind of the thought process you want to have when you're doing this type of stuff. If you're interested in that stuff, if you just want to do things for fun, for the sake of fun, then who cares how long it takes? But for me, I want to do things as quick as possible so I can keep moving and keep putting out new stuff and all that. So I just kind of have to think outside the box in that way. But anyways, yeah, that's just kind of my rigmarole, the old mechanics of my brain and how it works. So you now have a finer understanding of the mighty Kevin Creative's intricate thought process, the maze, the labyrinth within that only I could traverse. Imagine you walking my mindscape. You would be lost in an instant. The feral creatures that plague my mind, they would eat you alive. Also, moving on, since we got some other stuff going on, I decided to get back into Super Sentai. I was a big fan of it for a while, and then I decided, you know what, this stuff is kind of elaborate, kind of expensive. Let's take a break from it. I took the break at the perfect time because I took a break after Q Ranger. I didn't get the last couple of things, unfortunately, but I went on eBay recently and found them for dirt cheap, crazy cheap. I couldn't believe the prices I got them for, so snagged them up. It was like Kojishi Voyager, the upgraded Red Lion one. I got that for like less than $40, like all together. So just waiting for that to come in stock. And then the Qtama, the one that he used to transform into that form, I don't know how to describe it. It has lights and sounds, it's blue and red. It's kind of got like a Saturn's ring on it. So dirt cheap. Like I want to say less than $25, all said and done. So just waiting for that to come in as well. So very excited for that. And then I just need the Orion Battler, the final mech of the series. And then that's it. I'll have all the mechs. So very excited for that. I'm going to try to get my hands on it. We will see. There's some holes in my collection I'm going to try to fill. But that was the last one I really went through. And then after that was, I don't remember which one came after. I think it was Lupin Ranger, which was, it was okay in terms of the designs. The Megazord stuff looked all right. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the craziest about it. It had a bit of a McDonald's feel to it in terms of the vibe and all that. But the Morpher seemed kind of cool. I kind of wish I got it just for the Morpher, but oh well. That was a series where, again, there were certain things I liked about the toys, but for the most part, they just were not grabbing me enough to want to get them. And then Dawn Brothers, same thing. Like, it was just, I just wasn't really feeling them. And then same thing with Kira Major. It's just, I like the Kira Major aspect of, like, the shiny crystal things. Like, they turn into gems and all that. I just wish they leaned into more of that. Instead, they just made them turn into vehicles and all that, which just wasn't nearly as cool. Like, vehicles are perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with doing vehicles for Super Sentai. They work out very well a lot of the time. But you got to get creative with them because it gets really boring just to have cars and construction vehicles and all that stuff just over and over. You know, you got to do something. So within this case, I don't feel like enough was done for me to want them. So we just kind of passed on that one. And then, yeah, there's just a bunch of other series that I passed on. I kind of wish I did get into Rio Soldier and King Oger, the bug one. I might go back and try to get some of that stuff, but everything else wasn't really crazy about. And then Goes Yuger, number one Sentai Goes Yuger. That one kind of won me over. I wasn't feeling it at first. I mean, I was and I wasn't. I was going like, I was of two minds going back and forth. And then finally I said, you know what? They are pretty cool. Really what was killing it for me was the fact that like the weapons of the series, their individual weapons were the Zords. I don't know if that translates the best. I mean, they just kind of seem like weapons. They don't really seem like Zords. But it's fine. It grew on me. It's fine. It grew on me. I'm actually really excited to get the sets. I'm already started collecting stuff for it. And then if everything goes well, I should be able to get pretty much everything. So we're going to do that. But like I said, it was just hit or miss, but it did kind of grow on me. The weapons do look pretty cool. They do look like the Zords combined and everything. They do look okay. I have a plan of how I want to display this stuff because pretty much what I am going to do, I think we're pretty much confirmed on it, is I'm going to get a pegboard and install it on, I'm going to get a couple and install them on different walls in my apartment. And then I'm going to take my Super Sentai like role play weapon stuff and kind of just put them on like, you know, kind of like a gun store or like Men in Black. Think of something like that. And I think that's going to look really cool. So for example, like the Gabu revolver from Kyoryuger. That's a really cool toy gun weapon. Put that up on there. Same thing with the frog gun from Ninja. That was a cool weapon too. Put that on up there. Different things like that. Thinking about getting the King Oger, the bug one, the sword, the caliber, the sword caliber. I'm not the biggest into the sword weapons, especially when they're morphers and all that, but I don't know. It might grow on me. We'll see. I'm thinking I might get it. It just depends on like if it's still in stock when I finish up this other stuff. But I wouldn't mind getting that. Ninja, I'm pretty sure I have the swords. I'm pretty sure I have the swords in storage. At first, I didn't think I had them because I put them away such a long time ago that I just don't know exactly what I have. But I was thinking to myself, like, man, I kind of wish I got the swords. Those were pretty cool. And I do have like the shurikens and stuff and like all the mechs. They would be fun to interact with each other. But then I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute. I think I might have it. And then I did some more thinking and I was like, wait a minute. I think I might have the red and blue version too. There was like a red and blue exclusive one that had like exclusive sounds and stuff. I think I might have it. We're going to be going to my parents for Thanksgiving and for my dad's birthday. So we're going to try to dig some stuff up and see if we have it because I'm pretty sure I have it. I know I have the guitar like sword gun thing from the Cowboy Ranger. I don't remember his name. The gold. Was it gold? I'm pretty sure it's gold. The Gold Ranger from Ninja. That's pretty cool. I know I have that. I know I have the Burger Morpher. That's pretty sick. I'm not big into like phone morphers and all that, but the burger thing, so cool. Just fun. It's just fun. I like fun. So I like when they do stuff like that. The iPhone morpher from ToQger, the train series, lame as hell. I have it. It is what it is. It's nothing special at all. It's an iPhone. Like, I don't know, man. Why do they keep doing phones and stuff for morphers? Stop doing phones. The Cube one from Dobutsu Zuoger. Yes, it was like phone-ish. It opened up and stuff like a flip phone, but it still had some really fun play functionality as just like a cube thing. We'll give it to them on that. Same thing with the Shoto phone. Like, if you're going to do a phone morpher, it has to be like the Cube phone or the Shoto phone from Shinkenger Samurai. Like, it has to be more than just a phone. Like, you can't just make it a phone. It's just too boring. They have the Memorial Magi Ranger cell phone. I might get it. I don't know. I regret not getting a lot of the Memorial stuff. Like, I was just like, no, I should stay away. I'm out of the stuff. Now I'm kind of regretting not getting it. I don't know. That one I'm really on the fence on because, like, yes, it does have, like, a little bit of additional functionality with the wand and all that. But it's, like, kind of a wand. It's just mostly just a phone with a thing that flips out on it. I don't know. Like the Shoto phone, the way that flips into, like, a paintbrush totally works. That is so cool. I love that. It's such a unique design and all that. Dual functionality, just good time. So no real complaints there. Same thing with the Mobirates from Gokaiger. That's a really cool cell phone. I'll give it to them. That, if you were to make a cell phone morpher, that is the way to go. That's a really cool cell phone morpher. But like, for example, I've got the Gao Ranger Wild Force Memorial morpher thing, the Gao Changer, whatever they call it. I have it on pre-order. I am excited to get it because that is one of my favorite series. But it's a bit simple in its design and all that. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty much just a gold flip-out phone. It's okay, I guess. Like, I get it. It does have, like, sort of a transformation thing, too, where it turns into the animal, sort of, and it turns into human, sort of. So, like, there is some play value aspect to it, but in terms of a phone morpher, it's definitely on the lower end of them, I will say. Again, I'm getting it. I'm a fan of the series, but I'm willing to admit that, even as a big fan of this, I'm willing to admit it's not the coolest thing ever. Hurricaneger, I should have got that wrist morpher. They made the Memorial one. Totally regret it. Same thing with Abba Rager. Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder. Should have got those Memorial versions. Totally kicking myself that I didn't. Maybe one day. I do have the Memorial SPD ones. The, what do you call them? The badges. Those are sick. Like, you want to talk about a morpher, there you go. That's a good morpher. It's like a badge. It has the judgment time thing. All that stuff. Like, super cool. Lights and sounds. All that. Super cool. So I went to my parents, grabbed the box, just threw it in my car, took it home. I knew I had the standard SPD morpher, so that's what I thought I was pulling out. So I was like, cool, got it. I didn't realize I got the set where it came with the red upgraded one. I don't know what you call that. The FD, the fire department one. Is that what it is? FS, Fire Squad. That one came with as well. So when I opened up the box, I was like, whoa, no way. I got both. No way! Like, that was a nice little treat. So I have those on display. They look cool. I never got the Shadow Ranger one. I could have. I passed. I have the standard one. I've got the red version. Let's just call it there. Don't need all. Wouldn't mind getting the Omega Ranger one, though. The, like, motorcycle wrist gauntlet thing. I'm a big fan of the wrist gauntlets. Like, when it comes to morphers, I say 100% of the time they should be, like, a wrist-mounted thing. No more cell phones. None of that. Get them out of here. A cool wrist-mounted activating thing that you could use. So, like, I've got the Aura Changer from Die Ranger. And that's like a double wrist, like, mounted thing that you mess with together. And, like, it's super cool and fun and interactive. And I love it. I love having that one. I have the Zia one. I also have the Zia one. Same thing. Wrist-mounted thing that you mess with. Big fan of that. We need more wrist-mounted stuff. Kira Major's wrist-mounted thing, boring. That just looked like an Apple Watch. Stay away from the phone stuff. It looks like an Apple Watch that's just round. Get away from that. I don't want that. The Tokyu Bracer, whatever. Sick. That is sick. I have that. Interactive, fun, unique, not a phone. Really cool. I want more of that. You heard me, Toei, Tokusatsu, whoever. Wrist-mounted, all right? If it doesn't go on your wrist, get it out of here. Or just, again, handheld thing. I have the, what is it called? It's from not the Samurai. It's from the Ninja series that was like Alien Ranger in America. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like I don't remember what it's called, but it looks cool. It's a really cool thing. It has the gold coins that go with it. Not the Dino Buckler Mighty Morpher. It's again, I don't know. It's a Japanese thing. They never brought it to America. It's really cool. It's just like a device. It's not like a phone or anything. It's just like a unique thing. It's a gadget. It's just a cool gadget that has cool lights and sounds and functionality. Big fan of that. It came with the gourd with the hammer. Flying by. Yeah, it came with the gourd and the hammer and like Ninjor, the ninja guy. So, if you know what I'm talking about? There you go. That's another good example of just like a cool thing. Same thing with like the SPD one. Like it's not a phone or anything. It's not wrist mounted. It's just a cool, it's like a police badge. So it's fair enough. Police badge. Go with that. Police badge. That's another cool, just flip out thing that's just like cool. Like a sheriff star. Take that idea, make it into a morpher, like a pin on your shirt. I think that would be a really cool morpher too. Or like Star Trek, they got their pins on their shirts. Or like a Star Trek communicator. It's just like a gadget thing. I think that is the mindset they need to have when deciding on how to go with the morpher. I get it for like the first couple of phone morphers where it's like, oh, this is new technology, like flip phones. That's a new thing, like early 2000s. Fair enough. That's why they did it for Gal Ranger. I think Gal Ranger was like, what, 2001, I want to say? I'm pretty sure that's 2001. So maybe 2002, somewhere around there. Very early, like 2000s, flip phones were still kind of a new thing, so fair enough, I get it. That was the cool tech, but we've done it. We did it with that. We did it with Magi Ranger. We did it with Gokaiger. You know, let's put it to bed. We don't need more cell phones. Oh, that being said, that's another one I missed out on. Go Onger. That's another Memorial one. That's a cell phone. That's actually pretty cool. I wouldn't mind that one. Missed out on it, unfortunately. So Go Onger is going to be really the one that just got away. I really want to get Go Onger just stuff. I love the mechs. I want all of them. They are crazy expensive. It's just probably never going to happen. Same thing with the Morpher. I missed out on the Memorial one. It's probably just not going to happen, but damn it. Oh. No, it's such a cool one, but we'll see. I think I'm going to make it an effort to go to Power Morphicon from now on just to like get a couple things every now and then. Maybe that'll be my bi-yearly, every other yearly, I don't know what you call it. Because they do it every 2 years, I believe. So I'm thinking next year, 2026, they should be doing it. And maybe I'll go see if there's some cool stuff I can maybe snag that I missed out on. There you go, Bob's your uncle. So I'm thinking I want to get King Oger stuff. I want to get this current Gozuger stuff. And then in terms of like the newer, more current series, call it there. I don't think I need anything else. And then go back, fill a couple holes in the collection. And then from there, it's just like, if I have money at the moment that I can spend and there's nothing else I want, screw it, I'll get it. Like, for example, I would love to get the Zeo Red Ranger, like Zeo Battler or whatever, the Red Ranger mech. That one is just so cool. I would like to just eventually get it at one point in my life. That's like a life goal of mine, is to eventually own that one. I would say that's a holy grail for me specifically because I just think it's cool. It's a really cool looking thing. And, I want it. I am praying when I go to my parents that like I didn't get rid of any of my Sentai stuff. I might have gotten rid of a couple of my Super Sentai things, but I'm praying that I didn't. I think that was the one thing, the one part of my collection where I was just like, you know what, let's not sell this. I really, really hope. I hope I wasn't dumb enough to sell that stuff. I actually got really lucky. My mom brought over some of the stuff that I had in the closet, and I just told her like, hey, if you can just grab some or just whatever, just grab it and throw it in, and then we'll go from there. So one of the things she grabbed was my Gokaiger Mobirates. I have the Bandai Asia one. I never was able to get a hand on the Bandai Japan one, unfortunately, so I had the more inferior Bandai Asia version. So whatever, it still looks cool. It just doesn't have as nice of a sound box and all that. So I opened it up. I thought I took the batteries out of everything when I put it all away. Turns out I didn't take it out of the Mobirates. They completely had exploded, so I was like, fuck me. Well, whatever. It was just a cheap, not a knockoff, but like not the good version. So I was like, whatever. It's just what it is. So I took out the batteries, cleaned it out, and I was like, let's just throw in some batteries just to see. And lo and behold, it actually works. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because I'm telling you, these things blew to hell. Like they was filled. Like I had to get a knife just to get the batteries out. They were so crammed in there because there's no space to move. Couldn't believe it. I was actually very, very happy about that. So there you go. I'm going to go through my stuff. I'm making sure that there's no batteries in nothing moving forward. They're just too dangerous. I really hope there's like some way to fix that in the future, like where batteries just don't explode. I don't know if that's a thing. Like, maybe just make the batteries out of more durable material where they don't burst like a freaking tub of biscuits or something. Like, I don't know. Like, is there a way to do that where they just make the material, maybe not even make the material more durable, just make it more malleable so that way if they burst, it just doesn't rip out of it. If there's a way to do that, that would be wonderful because, yeah, that's an issue that anybody who has fun toys and stuff knows. Don't leave the batteries in. They will explode and ruin your stuff. I don't know why that's always a factor with toys, but it just seems to be a big toy thing. I feel like I've had, you know what it is? It's because you don't always play with them, but like a remote control, you're always messing with your remote for like your TV. So like if the batteries are dead, you're going to know and you're going to want to swap them out immediately. You're not going to wait. It's probably a factor. Getting back in the Super Sentai, getting back into my model kits, took a little bit of break, playing the Digimon, trying to be a little bit more stress-free about things. And I'm trying to be a bit more outgoing if I get invited to stuff. Anyways, guys, we're going to go and call it there. I got to take care of some more stuff. We got to take on Junomon. I got to do that fight right now. I'm going to hopefully win. So I'm going to shut off this recording. Maybe take a quick little smoke break just to reset my mind and prep myself for the battle. And then we'll get on to it. So anyways, guys, until next time, we'll see you then. Peace.